He's wisely going hard into wood. You can see the berries over here. Why is he not gathering food? I just walked them past the Ottoman base. Maybe we should attack. Hey, welcome back, everyone. Glad you're tuning in again. We've got some more 3v3s here. We've been queuing up for more ranked team games. 2v2, 3v3. And here we are in another 3v3 on Hideout. Once again, I'm going to go with an early aggression civilization. English. That way we can make the most of the short walking distance. I mean, look how close we spawn. Who cares if there's a little bit of woods between each base? We can make it across the map easy. Like, think of the borders of the mini-map here. Look at how far in the bases are. No matter what the terrain between them, there's other map spawns where we would appear like all in the same corner, maybe in Hill and Dale or in Altai, all on one side of the map. In Hideout, the distance is so short because everyone, I mean, the outside of the map is where all the resources are. That's why Hideout, I think, is a unique map, although not particularly well liked by players. Anyway, I'm playing as the English. We'll put on some early aggression. We've got a Malian ally by the name of Repairwalla. We've got a Rus ally by the name of Slazenger. And it looks like we've identified a Chinese opponent by the name of ASAP Dick Cheney right here. So that's who I'm spawning closest to. Chinese, kind of a hard civ to put aggression on if they go with a Barbican of the Sun early on. But we'll see what we can do. And the fact that we can already see the Barbican under construction thanks to this scout makes me think we won't be able to put on much aggression, but we'll see how it goes. Looks like we're also spotting... No, that's the Chinese scout right there. We're still not sure about the spawn positions of our English opponent by the name of Cuban Pete and our French opponent by the name of Garmar. With a French opponent in the game, spearmen are a priority. We need to make them whenever we sniff even a little bit of cavalry, because the Chinese can make a lot of cavalry, the French can. English maybe not so much. English will mostly see infantry. Amazingly, we've already got a spearman on the front lines. Probably should have waited until these longbowmen appeared. And yeah, there's the little game that we're going to have to play over the next minute or two. I mean, it's 5:45 in the in-game timer. We're just kind of trying to get shots on these villagers and not get these gunpowder emplacement shots on my longbowmen. Because look at that, they may be 3-4 shot, these poor longbowmen. But of course, if I can focus on the micro, we can start to target down the injured villagers. Yeah, there you go. That's a villager kill right there. Just there feels like I'm doing something in this game. I'm at least putting on some kind of pressure. I'm disrupting some opponent's play style. It's kind of nice doing this pressure as the English. You can really see what an opponent plays like under pressure. He's definitely going a greedy play style, getting the stone gathering right there, and ooh, this spearman taking shots. Yep, ouch. The Chinese, I love playing as them, and one of the things I love about them is just how damaging those gunpowder emplacements are on the Barbican, the town center, outposts in general. Oh, but now that we're up to 3 longbowmen, I wish we were at 4, maybe 5. Okay, good. Now we're up to 4. Love how fast these longbowmen can snipe villagers. That's 2 villager kills right there. No doubt the second... Oh, I'd love to get that last villager. Oh, what a shame. He's just retreating the villagers that we're targeting. Really well played by this Chinese opponent. We still have 2 villager kills, but I'm positive the Second town center is underway. Oh, there's some injured villagers in here. Just one volley on this injured one. Or this one. Oh, that's a great shot right there. Nice. That's 3 villagers down. Imperial official coming forward. They're a little tankier than the villagers, unfortunately. Glad the scout is here. The scout really enables your longbowman pressure. Don't put on pressure with longbowman without a scout. Oh, French opponent, Garmar, slaying some villagers of my ally Slazenger. Slazenger going with the Golden Gate because the Kremlin is garbage. And we're rotating around the Barbican of the Sun, a great landmark. We're trying to find where we can put on pressure. 4 longbowmen, scout, 2 spearmen, a pretty versatile army. But we need to find vulnerable villagers. We could go maybe check the opponents because it feels like we can't do really much else here on the Chinese. Let's scout around, see what we can find. Those knights that were harassing Garmar are now... Oh, Garmar was a harassing Slazenger. Look at that. Great cooperation on our side. Repair Walla with the early hardened donsos. These are the Malian spearmen. They just mow down these French cavalry. Because look at that. They can throw their spears too. Look at that. What a great anti-cavalry unit. And it looks like the French opponent Garmar is the one that has spawned closest. So he'll probably put on the most aggression or feel the most pressure. Kind of a rough exchange with the English opponent, Cuban Pete. He's in the safe position, and just a few longbowmen have trotted out to kill off my small army. Unfortunate. Of course, on the back of all of this, we've been gathering wood and stone, and it's enabled us to get a second town center. Checking in on the Malian ally, idle villagers. 8 idle villagers, and look at that. He's got the gold trophy of the Kraken. That was from the earlier seasons. It's good to see that this is a gold player, clearly just breaking into platinum. I think I saw that the 3 of us were platinum ranked. Good on you. Keep it up. Unfortunately, idle villagers and knights harassing his gold. The Malians, they really do crumble under early pressure. But things have calmed down. Those French knights of Garmar have disappeared. And the Rus ally going with professional scouts. We don't really see this upgrade very often. The scouts can now collect animal carcasses and bring them back to the base. Perhaps a good strategy on Hideout. Probably a Rus-favored map. I really think if you are a Rus player, you're probably crossing your fingers and hoping for Hideout. Or maybe you see the map when you match up and you're like, okay, yes, time to break out the Rus. Because, man, I feel like the Castle Age landmark with the hunting lodge, you could actually wedge that kind of in the woods here if the Feudal Age goes on a while. Like, think about this all cleared away and the Castle Age landmark going down right here. That'd be so much passive gold generation. Really like the Rus on this map. He's safely gathering up these animal carcasses, and it's keeping his villagers safe. He can safely gather from the carcasses and not worry about the French knights harassing him, because I mean they're roaming around our side of the map. We're gonna probably want walls in the future because we've got so much French pressure here. Great to see the donsos in the mix. We're chasing off these knights. Looks like I've got some idle villagers of my own. We just finished hunting the deer that spawn here. Hideout is generous. It does give you a deer camp. And even as the English, we're going to take advantage of that. And now we're putting out more and more farms, gathering from these berries. Looking at income, English opponent, ahead in food, no surprise. Probably a like passive macro-y kind of greedy English build going on over there. Serious food gathering. losing a few longbowmen to these knights, and we're seeing palisade walls from the Chinese opponent. No surprise there, the Chinese build incredibly quickly. They can put up defenses in no time. That said, we have built outposts. We're trying to put them at resources or important angles, places where we think we might do battle. It gives us that network of castles enhancement. All of our units will attack faster. We really need that as the English. You always want to be falling back or fighting under outposts when you can. Rus player, smart with the walls. Love this play from the Rus. You might as well wall off the French. Let them bring their knights all the way across the map. That's fine. It's much better if we prevent them from just directly going at the Rus player, because, I mean, yeah, his villagers are somewhat safe, but this gold is pretty exposed. I'm sure his wood line is a bit exposed. We just don't want to take heavy economic damage from those French knights. Cuban Pete aging up. Repair Walla aging up, so that's the English opponent. That's my Malian ally. And I'm actually aging up myself. We're getting the King's Palace. That'll put us on 3 town centers, which will pretty much take us into the Imperial Age. Looking to play the late game with this composition, or with this like landmark decision. And we scare off a bunch of Chinese villagers who were trying to gather from this mill. No surprise that the Chinese are suffering on food. As a Chinese player, we know how hard it is to get food early on. You do not want to make that farm conversion too early. You want to try and get away with some food gathering here. And look at that. A lot of Jugnu showing up. No upgrades. That's fine. Probably a little early for upgrades. But yeah, right now, half of the field is in the Castle Age, most of it on our side. No surprise, there's a fast Malian age up. We'll see if this Malian player wants to go for, oh, interesting, going for cows. We'll see if they transition to trade in the future. Bringing some units to patrol along the bottom of the map. You can see our infantry are finding good targets. If this was the Jugnu, we would just instantly die. So it's kind of a crapshoot what my units are going to run into. There you go. The only thing I can hope to do is react quickly and pull them away. Nice. More engagement of spearmen against knights. This is what we want. Chivalry is an annoying upgrade. It patches up those French Royal Knights, so we really want to put them down while walling up. Very good to see my Malian ally walling here. I think he's getting perhaps passive stone. Yes, from the Mansa Quarry. Very cool. A decent contribution from a Malian ally. We shouldn't forget that when we get Malian allies, they probably have a few bits of stone available. I'd like to see me getting upgrades. At the very least, the armor-clad upgrade for my man-at-arms. It really makes them a force to be reckoned with. Oh, and look at this. We're finding more Chinese villagers. Like I said, the Chinese desperate for that extra food so that they can just tech up, not have to deal with farms. This is good. I like all these villager kills, though the Chinese can produce them very quickly. Maybe I should be targeting them down with these man-at-arms. I'd love to go get this one villager with 2 health. Notice no textiles. This Chinese player is trying to play greedy, defending at the front, but also venturing out. It's kind of a mixed bag. I don't know how I feel about it. I bet he probably would have done better if he had put down maybe a few outposts here. Or a few outposts here. Yeah, it looks like he's starting to do it. A bunch of English knights have arrived. These are Cuban Pete's units. Very surprising to see an English player going with cavalry. But we're trading well. My Malian ally should maybe continue engaging with these knights, but maybe he decided I'm going to pull over to these English units. Okay. Actually, not a bad idea. Let's remember that in our future team games. If we see our units are engaging and losing, why not just run them into our allies' units? They'll start attacking. Let's just pretend our allies are computer players, or pretend that they are just units that'll engage automatically. What a great idea. This outpost with the stone enhancement is doing a lot better against these English knights. And look over here. It looks like our Rus and Malian ally are combining forces. The few donsos that were contributed here have allowed me to basically defend this on my own. Over here, we're seeing pressure. Look at these donsos putting in work. Those are spearmen mixed in with the Rus knights. And yeah, our Rus, I mean, everyone's up into the Castle Age. Our Rus ally is rapidly gathering up relics thanks to the Abbey of the Trinity. Not sure if I'm playing the religious game just yet. Looks like we're starting to. We unfortunately lose our units here. Glad we still have this outpost out on the field. It's providing some vision. Glad we have this one as well. And it looks like our Rus ally, Schlesinger, is really starting to put the pressure on our French opponent. Whoa, huge combined forces. English knights, Chinese Jugnu, although they're just walking way too close. We're engaging. What would you put your money on? An English civ defending itself from 2 players, or a French civ defending itself from 2 players? I'd put my money on the English. I'm holding these units off. I've probably got a few outposts in my base. Okay, looks like 1. We'll retreat our villagers to wherever we need to. We can retreat them inside of this outpost. We can retreat them inside of all of these town centers. We can defend. I've got a good feeling we can survive this. We just need a lot more spearmen and man-at-arms. We've got stables. We've got archery ranges. We've only got these 3 barracks. We're going to need maybe crossbowmen and spearmen. That's what we should be producing. Knights would be okay, but they'll probably lose out to these. Yeah, these are some well-upgraded English knights. We're trying to defend, of course. While this is happening, the Rus and the Malians are basically containing the French opponent. It's a double team. Now that the Chinese and English forces are reaching the center of my base, I'm actually feeling pretty good. I'm still producing units. I have some villagers still gathering. I mean, we've got 2 farms working, some lumber working on the sides there. We've got a lot of units queued up. We've constantly got the network of castles enhancement, so everything's attacking with +20. And it looks like we're even starting to, yeah, we're already getting our villagers back to work. That's what we're looking for. Looks like we're still up against a lot of crossbowmen and horsemen, and I feel like other forces might have diverged into the side of our map, although we're not seeing any. I think these veteran Sofa from the Malian ally cleaned up whatever forces had moved into our half. There's a serious contain going on. And the fact that the Rus ally is mixing in warrior monks with his knight and horse archer army, they can retreat out of here, heal up, and return to get villager kills. Yep, there was a villager kill there. Might get some more this way. Let's see. Nope, not really. But he can focus down some of these outposts and get at the villagers inside. Oh, here we go. More English cavalry. Again, not a common choice from English opponents. And over here, it looks like the Chinese player, Aseptic Cheney, is trying to destroy my outpost, but this has probably killed a sizable amount of these villagers. Probably 4 villagers, maybe? I'm glad we stone enhanced that one. Oh, and crossbowmen gained into the mix. Our upgrades are starting to come through as well. Yeah, what we've got going on is great. Look at how many farms we have. Wow, this is really impressive. 18 farms up here, 20 farms down here. I'm doing really well in food production. We can see it represented up here in the upper left. Look at how much I'm producing. Cuban Pete, English opponent, has made it to the Imperial Age. We should look to do that ourselves. Back here, I mean, the French economy is basically at a standstill. Mine is functioning. We've got villagers back to work and units really producing. In fact, we're starting to push out on the map. Over here, these Chinese crossbowmen, great unit choice here. The Nest of Bees, I don't know if that's a good choice, but this is really nice. Firing, backing off. These Rus Knights are taking extra damage from the crossbowmen, but the moment the Rus horse archers show up, they're dealing a lot of damage to these crossbowmen. And we make it to the Imperial Age, or really we have enough to make it to the Imperial Age. Checking out the religious game, we have 2 relics secured. It's our Rus ally who's really securing the relics. He's already got 3 here, 1 here. I'm sure we're going to grab this sacred site any moment. And that's a contain right there. A Rus keep going down in front of the French opponent. Meanwhile, we're trying to explore the map, find where villagers are. We're scoring kills here at the gold, and it looks like we just chased a bunch of villagers away from this stone mining camp. We even killed a few. This is great. This is the way to play Hideout. Send units around the outskirts of the map. That's where you're going to find those exposed villagers. Wow, we're cleaning everything up here. On the other side of the map, the Rus, Slazenger is not sure if he should advance forward. Cuban Pete seems to be the player who has turtled, built up a lot of forces, is already in the Imperial Age. The Chinese opponent, ASAP Dick Cheney, we're not sure. Still in the Castle Age, circling around. Good defenses here, so we're just kind of making sure that he doesn't have a standing army. But from what we've seen, it's mostly crossbowmen. Here's the Rus ally, Slazenger, trying to do some damage to the French here. Garmar just cannot get a game going here. Constantly under harassment. Knights just destroying villagers. A highly mobile army here. This is like a raiding Mongol force. Mangadai, Knights, and Lancers. It's just very dominant. There's not really an easy way to kill that army. Keep put here by Cuban Pete. Smart move. Good to get a keep as the English. You want to get that upgrade that makes your units fight even faster underneath outposts. We're seeing a lot of engagement here against the Chinese opponent. Veteran horsemen coming forward, but me and Repairwalla, our Malian ally, we're starting to put on pressure. We're getting into the rice fields here. Oh, wow. Here comes some fire lancers from the Chinese opponent. These units are great against mass units and charging. So that when they can charge forward into a large mass of units, they're very strong. However, against all of my spearmen and heavily armored man-at-arms, I don't really see them doing all that well. Great against my longbowmen or siege units, but over here we've finished the wall. Malian ally was kind enough to say, hey, wall this up. It'll complete a full wall off for our half of the map. Gotta wall this up. It's such a smart move versus a French player, an English player who has gone cavalry, and a Chinese player who has a bunch of fire lancers. Upgrades looking pretty good, well distributed across the board. Malian player not slacking on them, Chinese player not slacking on them, English player not slacking on them. Really good to see all these units in fighting shape. Over here, Rus player has started to mix in lots of siege units. These mangonel will probably knock down this town center in no time. And look at the army of spring alts that are supporting them. They're ready for the Castle Age siege game. Over here, it's only starting to heat up in terms of siege. It's so cool how fast the Rus can build up a siege army. A very exciting civ for those who like cavalry and siege. Over here, we're finally getting our siege thanks to the Windguard Palace back here producing small armies. And it looks like we've also gotten our enclosures upgrade. That's a lot of extra gold coming our way. And we're even thinking about when we're going to completely run out of gold, so we're building some marketplaces. Down here in the lower right, we'll queue them to this neutral trade post, and that's where our late game gold income will come from. The English opponent, Cuban Pete, really trying to make an effort over here. Support these crossbowmen from the Chinese, but my veteran longbowmen are doing good work against them, and it's just a numbers game. We've just got too many units coming at him. Again, these are well upgraded crossbowmen, and when they get back behind this palisade, that's when they're going to do real work. This is when the Chinese player should turn and fire. He also probably should have retreated that trebuchet behind the walls, but who cares? Apparently there's just a huge gap here. Okay, that's fine. Moving in with a big combined force here, supported by a trebuchet, we're going to take out this outpost and this collection of stables. Down here, our Rus ally is running into this English keep and a lot of stone walls from our English opponent. Look at that, the Berkshire Palace sitting behind the edge of this stone wall. My Rus ally should not engage here. That's a very damaging landmark. Very strong. Plus 50% greater weapon range and double the number of arrow slits on it. It's incredibly damaging. Over here we did secure the sacred site along with this one, but it looks like it's being neutralized. That would have been one of our win conditions. Malian ally going heavy with the melee units. Love that. That'll help burn down all these structures. And we're just ready to get through this palisade wall. Yeah, look at that. We really want in. Yep, losing the sacred site over there. Unfortunate. Rus ally is finishing off Garmar. And that kind of seals the deal here. Here it's already been kind of a 2v2. The Chinese opponent combining forces with the English ally. While over here, me playing as the English combining with our Malian ally. We're kind of trading back and forth, doing a little bit of damage to the Chinese player. Great, but this has just been a one-sided contain. With the destruction of the guild hall, Garmar will be eliminated, so this game is already kind of winding down. In 3v3s, as long as you don't fall apart, just the numbers will overwhelm your opponents. So while there's just constant engagement going on here, really this has already decided everything. It's more about my Rus ally discovering what's back here, abusing it, punishing it. That's what I've been doing on the outskirts over here. If the Rus ally can start to destroy all these markets, take care of this keep, knock down this stone wall, we can finally start to get to the rest of the enemy. Loving this Imperial English late game. Yeah, the longbowmen don't do great damage versus these knights. They have 8 ranged armor. The longbowmen do 11, so we're really only dealing 3 damage a shot. That said, the elite longbowmen, they get this arrow volley ability if you research it, and it allows you to attack rapid fire. So maybe we don't convert against the knights, but we convert really well versus these Chinese crossbowmen. Look at how many we just eradicated right there. Look at that. They just kind of melt whatever unit they're focused on. And as long as they don't die, they're just constantly generating kills. However, yeah, a few nest of bees, a few well-placed knights, that can wipe out a group of longbowmen. But you can see my Malian ally continues to reinforce this way. I'm making more and more infantry, and as I've said, Rus ally is starting to just consume this part of the map. I'd love to get more of my units out and kind of scouting, but looks like we're just trying to hold here. And we can always retreat behind the stone wall. No problems there. Yep. Malian ally always pulling through when we need them. And now these longbowmen can just go to work. So all this trading is great. I'm happy with how I'm playing, but I'm not really feeling like we're losing. It's just so nice to duke this out the whole time knowing that there's a huge, unbeatable army that is just moving across the map. I mean, these are nearly fully upgraded. Looks like they've even got some bonus health to them. And the horse archers, I'm sure, are even further enhanced. Yeah, looking great. Now that they're knocking down this English keep, yeah, putting even more forward keeps. Yep, securing new resources. And I love the walls. Never too late for some palisade walls. Markets are really generating income. You can see that the Malian ally is also going the trade route. They get so much gold. So as all this constant bickering is going on, our Rus ally is actually really duking it out here. This looks like it's going to be the final confrontation. Look at all these English knights. All three upgrades. They have the Bloodlines upgrade from the university. So they all have enhanced health. And he's going to fight it out with all of this Rus army. Elite horse archers dealing 17 damage apiece, and all these elite Rus knights, which have less health. Unfortunate. Though there is a Rus keep here supporting them, and who knows how well the horse archers are going to do. And it looks like there's even a few warrior monks in the mix. So they're actually increasing the armor and damage of these nearby Rus knights. That's really cool. Haven't really seen that come into play as the Rus. And as much as I hype up how cool this is, it looks like the English knights are trading really well. Oh, but they're reinforcing. Oh, I don't know. It's starting to look like the Rus are going to win. This keep is just melting everything. Even though these have higher hit points, I don't know. Oh, never mind. Looks like the English come out on top. Probably those reinforcing knights is what pushed it over the edge in their favor. But these English knights are so injured, they cannot be going against this keep. It's got a cannon emplacement on it. Yeah, he should just engage the Rus player. Yep, there we go. Take him out. Over here, we're starting to finally overwhelm the Chinese opponent. Look at the trebuchets doing work. We've pretty much terraformed everything. The Chinese were building structures as far as here, and then we just melted everything along this way. And now we're working on really core components of the Chinese economy here. Looks like we've blocked out this gold vein from being mined. Yeah, ASAP Dick Cheney surrenders. Garmar has already been eliminated. That's the game. Hope you enjoyed it. These 3v3s are so wild and chaotic, but sometimes the late game just kind of drags out. I liked the matchup, and I like how we did. English on Hideout feels pretty good. So does Rus. All right, catch you for the next team game. See you then.